Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to the Black Ribbon Warrior YouTube channel, where I'm your host Lee. Cheers. I'm a Star Wars fan, by the way. I am a stage 4 metastatic melanoma cancer warrior, survivor. In case you're new to the channel, welcome. I had melanoma that was with no source of origin, and it traveled to the lymph node, then traveled to the brain. Between the brain and the skull, and that's where I decided to have a big party and cause a big ping pong ball sized tumor. We went into radiation, then brain surgery, and then shortly after that we started immunotherapy for 12 months. And then currently I am 21 months and a couple weeks in surveillance mode. And my last checkup a couple weeks ago was unremarkable. That is something that I never thought this guy would hear, and it's amazing. It just makes me smile every time I hear it. So what I wanted to kind of touch on today was, how do you tell somebody that you have cancer? Because I mean, we had to tell a lot of people, and it was funny because, you have to be in the situation, right? So we were at a cousin of mine. We were at their house, and we were all, kind of kicking back, playing games and stuff like that. And my cousin's husband comes in, and he's like, I hate playing games. Nothing ever works out. Yeah, all Debbie Downer on us. Well, we convinced him into playing. And it's one of those games where you got to read the card, and then instead of playing cards, we were just everybody give a situation, so we would chat about whatever the card was. And one of the cards was something to the fact of, if you had a secret not to tell, would you tell? And at this point in time, we were going through the tests and studying, or getting the test done to get studied for non-Hodgkin's. They thought I had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma at first. And so we were going through the testing and stuff for that. And when this question got asked, my wife and I met eyes, and my daughter that was with us, we locked eyes, and we just kind of went, well, and my daughter started laughing. My wife went, oh, geez. And my cousin and her sister are like, what's going on? What's so funny? And so then we told him, hey, we're actually going through the process of looking at non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So, because of the lymph node, and this was before they found it in the brain. This was because of the lymph node. And they were like, what? I mean, we're kind of like, okay, this is kind of funny how we're telling you, but so it was kind of funny that way. And then my cousin's husband, who asked the question, was like, this is why I never play games. And he stood up and walked away. We're like, no, it's actually okay to say how you got it, and we weren't 100% sure, so we weren't going to say anything. But since it came up in this game, we were like, well, and so it's kind of funny. Y'all can put down in the comments how you tell somebody, or the funniest way you've told somebody. A lot of other people, it kind of came up as, hey, got the cancer, went to the store, we got milk, we got some Diet Coke, and we got cancer diagnosis. Yeah, that was our day. How was yours? It was my neighbor he said, man, he goes, I ain't seen you in a while. What you been up to? And I said, man, I've been laid out. He said, yeah, you know, the Rona or, and I said, no, the cancer. And he goes, what? And I said, yeah, man, I got the cancer. He was like, man, you got to give me a warning. I said, it's okay. I'm starting treatments and this and that. And he was like, what? I mean, he turned pale white. He was like, well, he goes, I can't even say that I got nothing because, and it was kind of funny that he's like, you got to give a brother some warning, man. Come on. And I said, well, you asked. So, but it's one of those that, you know, like I've mentioned that when I got diagnosed and we were looking at non-Hodgkin's and I was like, okay. And I told the wife then that I hope it's not in the brain because we knew a guy several years ago, we're talking 30 years ago now, that had brain surgery and he was never the same afterwards. And I always thought, man, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. So when they were looking at the non-Hodgkin's, I was like, well, okay, at least it's not in the brain. I can handle it. And the ER doctor who spotted it said, well, I got some bad news for you. And, you know, we're in the hospital and, you know, I'm kind of like really out of it because cognitively I'm just a zombie because what we didn't know was this tumor was pushing in on the brain, which was causing all kinds of problems. And he said, well, you got a tumor in your brain. And I just kind of looked at my wife and I said, well, beep, and looked back at him. And he kind of went, what? Like, I guess he was expecting more emotion or more something. And I was just like, well, and he goes, that was like the most mildest reaction I've ever had. And I said, well, and then my wife kind of told him the story and whatever. So just a kind of quick one. And one of my cousins, who's about 4.5, 5 years younger than me, he watched me grow up and he's seen some of the positions and issues that I had in places, not so good places I'd put myself. And when, you know, of course I talked to family like, I mean, I hadn't talked to in years, not out of moving away. And, you know, we would see each other once a year, we would text, whatever, but face to face, we just hadn't seen. And because, you know, distance. And, so I had talked to just about every one of the families to let them know everything's good. This is what we're looking at. The wife was on the phone with them. And my one cousin said, man, after all the BS you've been through, this ain't nothing. and I got to say, I chuckled and I said, yeah, you know, looking back, it's amazing I'm still here. But good Lord's got a plan. I don't know what it is, and I'm hoping I'm doing things according to his plan. So, but it was kind of, you catch a lot of people that are speechless. You catch them trying to stumble over words, trying to, you know, because they don't know your headspace when you tell them. And in my headspace, I was like, all right, whatever. Give me the next thing. Let's get on with it. Let's get this show on the road. You know, like, I wasn't one to sit back and just, woe is me, I'm going to die, I'm pity, whatever. I was, let's get on to the next thing. Tomorrow's a new day. And, you know, during leading up to treatment or the radiation, my main goal was to, one, wake up on this side of the grass, wake up, and not pee myself and not fall down the stairs. That was it. As long as I accomplished that, I was gold. I knew I was going to be okay. You don't know. You don't know how other people are going to react. I did have quite a few that were stumbling over words. I had quite a few that were mega super positive, and I've had a few that were very uncomfortable, and I've not heard it from since. Like they stayed in touch until some I hadn't heard from. Some after treatments. When I hit surveillance mode, I haven't heard anything from them. And that's just the nature of cancer. It touches every aspect of your life. And what is amazing is seeing the friendships and the relationships that grow during this time. My wife and I are closer than what we've ever been. And we've been married 22 years. Yeah. 22 years and almost a month. So we're the closest now than what we've ever been. You know, the one couple we had just met, and he just told his wife, said, we're going to help him out. And they brought us meals every Friday through treatments. Every Friday for a year, they brought dinner for the 5 of us. And not just for like one meal, like a Friday night meal. It was enough to get through the weekend. And it was amazing. It was amazing. And they are still, we still keep in touch. They're very close to us. And to be honest, if I was still uncomfortable, even after a year of it, I was still uncomfortable. I've never experienced the generosity, the outpouring of love that this couple had for us, and that we just met. I mean, like seriously, we just met them, and it was amazing, absolutely amazing, and they hold a special place in my heart. We've got some other friends that we've gotten really close to since then, and others that have just kind of faded off, and some that just because they didn't know what to do, how to talk to you. And I've had some family and it was kind of hard because I've had some family that distance themselves and are still real gun shy around a conversation. So that's rough. But in that though, I've got some relationships that with family back home because I'm about 8.5 hours away from where I grew up, and all my family, majority of my family's up back home. And some of those relationships have gotten way stronger, way stronger. We text more, we send more pictures. So it's really, I don't know how to say it, but it's kind of neat when you see who's in your corner for sure, and for the long haul. It makes you feel very blessed, and I don't know. I hope you all find that that blessing, and with a new diagnosis, you're going to have some that are going to come in and try to tell you how things are. Everybody's cancer is different. Everybody's journey is different. Everybody's needs are different. Sometimes when you're like, I don't know what to do, how to help you, DoorDash. That's a big thing. Just drop off meals for the weekend. Groceries. Offer to sit and hang out. It's hard. It is hard. Absolutely it is. To sit beside somebody that's sick and to talk to them. But I will tell you what, that, my friend, is what matters. Having somebody sit next to you, even just to watch TV. Just to watch an old John Wayne film or football on Sunday. You don't have to hoop and holler. You don't have to talk. Somebody to sit there and drink coffee with. That's what you can do. Send pictures of the kids, like my godson, man, I've saved every picture that was sent to me during this time. And I feel like our relationship's getting better, getting stronger. He's a youngin'. I only see him about once a year. So it's not awkward. It kind of is, because he's like, I don't know what to say to you, but I talk to him and we're all cool, and he knows my struggles, and he knows I was sick for a while, and maybe one day he'll stumble across this and I don't know. It's gonna make me tear up. But there's no quit. No quit. Even on what's the thing? You survived 100% of your toughest days so far. Yeah. So anyway, that's just a little bit of humor in the how do you tell somebody? It's I just go out and do it. I've still now, when people are like, so what do you do for a living? And I'm like, well, I'm kind of medically retired because I can't drive. I don't drive, but I can go across town and I'm good. Unless it's nighttime or raining, and then I have issues with the lights and all that. And my multitasking is gone. My balance is still some days, and my memory's shaky some days, more days than not, but it's all part of the brain healing. So anyway, so I tell them I'm medically retired, and they're like, what for? And I tell them I got melanoma. And they're like, it's in remission, right? No. What do you mean? You got to explain. Melanoma doesn't go into remission. Your cells are right there. It's kind of like The Walking Dead. If you all remember that. The Walking Dead, everybody's got genes that turn you into zombies. But it's only when they're, triggered. Just like melanoma. When it's triggered, there, tumors form. We're like The Walking Dead. We're going to be zombies. And I was when it was up here. It was right back in here. I was like a zombie. I was just going through the motions and trying not to pee myself. But all right, well, this is a kind of not really a quick one, but just some rambling. It's serious. Cancer's serious. Melanoma's serious. But if you're wound tight all the time, you're going to cause other health issues. So lighten up as best you can. And even if it's dark humor, it's still humor. So, all right, everybody. Well, let's get out of here, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Rock on! You guys are awesome. Stay strong, my warriors.